Hello and welcome back to Digitized. I'm your host, Mark D. Schweinitz, president of the social media club, Great Lakes Bay. Digitized is a program about social media marketing. On each episode, we approach social media from a little bit different angle. On our last program, we talked about social media content. Social media content, what you say, where you say it, who you say it to, is critical in any angle of social media. Today we're going to approach social media from a little bit different angle, which is social media for small business and entrepreneurship. We're going to do this in a case study format. About 4 or 5 years ago, I was in business school, and most of our learning was done through case studies. Like this one. You won't be able to read it, but this is what a typical case study looks like. It's got about 10 to 15 pages. The first couple of pages are a little bit of history and background about the people in the case study, the company. Throughout the content of the document, it's a situation. There might be a new competitor in the market. There might be a product that this company is trying to launch. Maybe somebody that's transitioning from one position in the company to another. And it always leaves you with a big question in your mind. The discussion in business school happens around what should they do next? How do you solve this problem in the case study? And there are always several financial documents at the back of the case study. We won't have the financials today, but we'll be able to do a real case study with an actual entrepreneur here on the set who's been successful and just started a business a couple of years ago. Before we meet our guest, I'd like to highlight an entrepreneur that was in Newsweek, actually USA Today, I apologize, just a couple of months ago. You'll see a picture here with a couple with 2 big blocks of cheese on their head. Now this couple has their cheese store where they sell cream cheese, cheddar cheese, any type of cheese you can think of. I like cheese. Don't know of this business in particular, but a few years ago they started posting these ridiculous pictures on their Facebook page. It got a little bit of attention. They noticed that people were starting to like their Facebook page and become friends. However, there wasn't much back and forth engagement. After a little while, this same couple started to post conversation about recipes, things they like to do with the cheese. People shared that content, which is really what we take away from the article I read. In social media, it's not about making a big splash and presenting yourself as a billboard. It's about the conversation. Behind every business and every brand is a real person. So let's go ahead and meet our guest today, who is Sonia St. James. Sonia is joining us from Austin, Texas. Yes. Sonia, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be back in Midland, Michigan.
Great, and so what brings you to Midland, Michigan? You have family in the area?
Yes, I have 2 children and let's see, 4 grandchildren and 3 more new step-grandchildren. So I'm very excited.
All right.
Haven't seen anyone in almost 2 years, so it's really been a while. So I'm really excited to be here.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And tonight we're going to talk about your business that you started just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Called the Torka Sports Towel.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So could you show us the product here?
Sure. The first product is a gym towel with 2 padded pockets. One to put your cell phone in, and the other to put your keys or your gym card or something like that in. The whole idea of this is that it's a sweat towel, but it really holds and protects your cell phone. That was the biggest thing that we went after.
For your cell phone, okay.
Yes, yes.
Keys, cell phone,
yes.
Things like that.
What we noticed, a friend of mine and I got in a conversation, and we both go to gym and work out, and he said, boy, you almost stepped on somebody's cell phone. And we got in this conversation about how people leave their cell phones and their keys and they walk off, you know, from one piece of equipment to another. Some people, they're stolen in the gyms, and some people, they're just broken or left behind, you know, whatever.
Right.
And he knew that I was good at design, and so he said, you know what? He said, there's got to be a way to fix this. And I said, yeah. So we started noodling together and talking about it. And I got a few towels, and we pinned them together, and then I sewed a few together, and lots of different kinds of designs. And we finally ended up with this particular design because it's lightweight, and the pockets are sized to fit a BlackBerry or iPhone. So
okay. And I noticed you have this this ring here, so people don't step on the phone.
Yeah, you can loop it over your equipment.
Even if a phone was in here on the ground, you could still crush it. So that's a good idea.
If somebody stomped on it, they're going to break it, you know.
Right.
But just general use. We're selling the towels all over the United States, which is kind of fun because it helps prove the concept. You know. Well, we started out actually with 2 towels sewed together with a zipper on the side and the pockets in the middle.
Okay.
Towards the middle. And the design wasn't practical, and when we got some testers, and we had 3 different gyms that we had people testing the product, they didn't like it. And I think the reason they didn't like it is because it didn't feel like a sweat towel. It was too thick and bulky.
Right.
So the design process of a new product, especially for an entrepreneur, you know, if you have a whole design team behind you, that's different. But it's very interesting. It's a lot of fun. I love that part.
Okay. So
really
once you had this idea, what made you say, I want to make a whole business out of this? I just don't want one towel for myself where I can keep my phone, but why did you want to do a whole business?
Honestly, Mark, it's because I'm a design and builder. That's the only reason.
Okay.
And so it's like, I had so many other ideas for towels. And we've since come up with a pool chair towel with zippered pockets on the back. Towel stays on the chair when you move around. A beach towel with zippered pockets on the end of it. So when you have that many products, it makes sense
to go ahead. So you just had all these ideas, and you needed an outlet to say, I need to create all of these products.
Absolutely. We also had some very good advice. On your show, I'm sure you've had other entrepreneurs talk about mentoring and finding the resources that they need.
Not too much, actually.
Really?
So this would be a good opportunity.
Great.
So.
Well, in Austin, Texas, we have a lot of entrepreneurism, lots of different kinds of products.
Right.
Most everyone thinks of technology, but there's a lot of other kind of products that are designed down there, and probably here too. I don't hear as much about it from here.
Not as much as Austin. So
probably.
Why is Austin so entrepreneurial? I've been there. It's a great place. But
it is.
There's a different feel
different culture.
in the air, different culture.
Yes.
Similar to maybe the Bay Area, California.
Yes, absolutely. And it started really from software and hardware technology from UT. So UT
from
was
Dell
actually
Computer, was it?
Well, yeah. Michael Dell came from he was at UT in school, but UT continues to have programs that promote entrepreneurism, and they continue to educate young people and provide the resources and mentoring they need so that these young people can take their ideas and spurt out and start companies.
Okay,
that has a lot to do with
it. So the college really.
The college is a central point,
and,
absolutely. And then, now that we have large companies in and around Austin, and medium-sized, and lots of small ones, those companies do the same thing.
Okay.
They mentor, and people will leave their company, maybe form a relationship with their parent company, or maybe not. And so it's a perpetual motion of creating that entrepreneurship platform.
Okay.
It really is. And also remember, we have a lot of creative type people that want to live in the Austin area. And
it does have a bit of a hippie granola feel.
It really does.
It's very creative.
It really does. I moved there in '86.
Is there,
absolutely.
Correct? Yeah, so.
Yeah, the home. It's actually the central home.
Their flagship store.
Absolutely.
There in Austin, right?
And that's a fun place to visit if anybody's ever in Austin.
Oh yeah. So.
Yeah. Lots of restaurants in one store. You can eat your way through the place.
So a couple of years ago, you're in the gym.
Yes.
People were almost stepping on cell phones.
Some did.
Some did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It can be expensive.
Yeah.
You came up with the idea. Did you partnered with a friend? You said.
Actually, only through the first initial design phase. What happened is that he's very busy doing other things, and I went ahead and got the idea patent. So this is actually patented. It was my first patent, so it's very exciting to get that certificate from the government.
Is that a long process?
It can be.
It can be a long process.
I filed a provisional patent, and before that ran out, I filed the actual patent with a law firm. It was an online firm, by the way. that I used. And they did a wonderful job.
And how did you find out about that? Was it just a Google search or recommendations?
Absolutely. Well, it was a Google search, and then I asked my friends in my social media groups,
right.
2 different groups, how they felt about it, if they'd ever used this particular company. And they said, yes, they had good luck.
Okay.
I didn't have anybody tell me no, that it wasn't a good company
right.
to work with. And so I went with them, and they did the patent very quickly, actually. In fact, I got my patent for that in less than 3 months from the government, but only well, that doesn't usually happen. That doesn't usually happen. But if you're in a certain age group, they give you concessions and they work on it faster. So anybody that's out there looking for a patent, be sure to ask your lawyer about this, because I didn't know about it. My lawyer.
Good to know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you used social media to find the resources you needed when you started your business.
I did,
so
and
that's
verify
one angle.
verify.
So even before you have a product to sell, you can use social media, plug into your network, word of mouth.
I highly recommend it. For this particular resource that I needed, lawyer, I asked my LinkedIn friends, because they were all business people, and they had that kind of experience. Not that anyone else wouldn't, but they did have it, so it helped me out a lot.
So how does LinkedIn differ? I understand how it differs because I use Facebook, Twitter, etc. But for the audience, tell us a little bit about how using LinkedIn to plug into a network is different than using Facebook or Twitter from your experience.
From my experience, I find that Facebook, at least the way I was using it when I first started the products, it was more of a social for family and friends, and to let people know what I was doing and where I was doing and keep track of them. LinkedIn is more business-oriented. In fact, I would say pretty much business-oriented. And that's where I knew a lot of business people, or they knew of me, literally from all over the world, business-wise. So if you think about that for a moment, that's a way to use social media, specifically LinkedIn, although I would say that you can do the same thing with Twitter and Facebook. But at the time, I used LinkedIn to connect to mentoring from literally around the world.
So would you find people that do something similar to what you wanted to do and reach out to them? Was this?
Well, here's the thing, Mark, and for other entrepreneurs that are interested in this, when you create a product, there's going to be specifics about that product, but really there's some basics about what you're going to need from a law firm. There's some basics about what you're going to need from a CPA firm. Marketing resources, PR resources, distribution, manufacturing resources. They're very specific to your product, but that's a place to find those kind of resources, I would say.
Right.
I would recommend that.
Oh, yeah, that's excellent. And it's good for our viewers to keep in mind that entrepreneurs don't just do the marketing for a business. You do accounting,
we do everything.
Supply chain, pretty much everything, essentially.
Everything, yes. I want to also mention I use social media to find my manufacturer.
Okay. So
in Austin.
Was that through LinkedIn as well?
No, it wasn't. It was through Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Just word of mouth.
Yes, and here's what they told me. They said, go to Craigslist.
Okay, Craigslist.
My friends on Twitter and Facebook suggested that I post an ad on Craigslist, and I did that, and I found a small manufacturer from Mexico that was in Austin, Texas with their commercial equipment. And so I can honestly say now that these products are assembled in the United States, which is really feels good.
Great. So step one in entrepreneurship with social media is use the network to find the resources to get started. To reach out to people. And would you reach out to only those you knew something about, or complete strangers? How